What's happening? It's Amy Nicholas. Hello, beautiful people. I am back live to be helping you with your business, with your manifestation, with your freedom lifestyle. By the way, if you don't know, I have a Facebook group, totally free. It's called the Ultimate Business Freedom Lifestyle. I put a link in this video. Check that out. Join up with us. And also I have a free cheat sheet about same topic. Check that out as well. Let me make sure we are sharing on these platforms. Where am I? Oh, I got to refresh. Over on Facebook here, like, where's my live? I don't see it. Yeah, got to refresh, Amy. Let's see. There I am. Okay, I'm going to share this up to my page. I don't know that anybody really ever watches these lives from a page, but you never know. So I prefer to go live on my profile. And if you prefer to watch not on Facebook, by the way, I'm also live on YouTube at the same time. Thank you, StreamYard. So if you prefer to watch that way, just go over to YouTube, look up my name, Amy Nicholas, and you'll see my channel with like 500 videos. So that's how you know it's me. Okay. Let's do a banner today. I want to do, I have some saved banners on my account here for StreamYard. So I'm going to put up one of these right now. It's a good question, banner. Let's see if I can get it to show. Oh, cool. Scrolling too. What are you grateful for in 2021? I apparently had made this in 2020 and posted it as a banner at some point. And I'm going to go first. And I'm going to say, I am grateful for learning ways of doing entrepreneurship, business, making money, living the life I want to live, driving the vehicles I want to drive. I am grateful for finding ways to do that with ease and effortlessness. When I first started studying like business and, how to make money online and, how to quit my job, all that kind of stuff, I was initially drawn to here's how to be a success, work hard, be disciplined, have habits, blah, blah, blah. And I just went along with it because I was like, well, these people kind of know what they're talking about. So-and-so's wrote this book or created this video and they have followers and they have fans and, number one book, whatever. And I just sort of took it with all belief, that this was the only way. But let me tell you something. So in 2014, I think it was, hey, Smooth and Chunky, welcome to the show. Comment what you're grateful for in 2021. I said that I was grateful for finding ways to manifest things in my life, my business that were easy, without struggle, without hardship. And we're going to get into why working hard is not required. But anyways, so years ago, somewhere around 2014, I actually have a notebook somewhere in this office, probably in the closet with 1,000 other notebooks, where I wrote out, my goal was to write out 100 people I was going to study that were successful. And I think I came up with a list of about 70 or 80. And my goal was to go through the list and watch content from these people or read a book from them, just learn about them and find out what their, ideas and thoughts were on being successful and earning money, blah, 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 right? And I'm glad I didn't get to 100 because it was sort of overwhelming to try to find all this content and absorb things. And I'm going to tell you something that surprised me out of that. Smooth and Chunky says, clearing my path for all the great things that are coming next. Ooh, that sounds good. I manifest as well. Yes, we all do. We just sometimes manifest things we don't want. But yeah, that's awesome about clearing your path. It's always good to be expecting great things. Especially, can I tell you, especially when things look really bad, especially when things are not moving, especially when you feel stuck, especially when you're like, I have got to get this thing going or I'm going to scream, right? That is the most powerful time to make a decision that great things are coming to you, okay? But anyways, back to my story of studying these like 80 successful people. So as I started to keep these ideas in a notebook, I was like writing things down, and I went through, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 people. And I was like, wait a minute, why is, why am I coming across different thoughts here, different schools of thoughts? Like so-and-so would say, hey, I made money in real estate, and that's how you got to do it. That's the way. And then someone over here would say, no, I made money just like making courses online, and that worked for me, right? Or, they had these different ideas. And some people said, you got to work hard. And let's see, Rita says, I'm grateful for good health in 2021. Yes, definitely a good thing to be grateful for in 2021. Guys, if you, I think you can see it on YouTube and Facebook. We got a little banner asking you to comment, what are you grateful for in 2021? And so anyways, I was studying these people, and I was like, wait, this guy says you got to work hard to be successful. This other guy says, well, you got to work smart. This other guy or woman says you got to work hard and smart. And, I was like, well, hang on a minute. They're all successful. They're all doing well. So I started to study more about like their lifestyle and who was happy and who was feeling fulfilled. Were they successful by just, success standards? Like they made a certain amount of money. They had their dream home. They had, great business, whatever. Or were they successful because they had money and those things, and they were happier and fulfilled? And I started to weed out the people I just did not resonate with. And I was like, it kind of was a mistake to follow too many people, because what's going to happen is you're going to get everybody's opinions and conflicting ideas about what it is to be a success. Okay. So the topic of this video, first things first, you have to declare for yourself, like, what does success mean for me? Some people say they have to hit like a certain income. I have to have this much in the bank. I have to have this kind of business up and running. I have to have quit my job, whatever it is, you have to define it for yourself. A couple years back, I kind of decided that I was going to stop putting numbers on everything, because if I didn't hit that number by a specific time, by a specific date, as many of the success gurus tell you to do, gotta set a date to your goal, right? But the problem is when you don't hit it, and you don't hit it again, and you don't hit it again, and you don't hit it again, and this goes on month after month after month, and year after year after year, you start to feel really bad. And you cannot manifest good things from feeling bad, okay? So why is working hard not required? Because now this is my point of view. As I said, I listened to a lot of different people. I took a lot of notes on, different perspectives of life. And I said, you know what, Amy, you're going to have to just make the conclusion that, this is what I feel good about, and this is what I choose to believe. Okay. So I started to follow actually some people that weren't even on that list. And this was a couple years later, and I narrowed it down. I narrowed it down to one person for a couple of years. And then I decided to kind of just listen to a few other people sporadically. And I started to come to the conclusion that when you work hard, I'm putting it around quotes here because that can mean different things for people, there tends to be a struggle involved, right? Like think about the people that are ditch diggers that, they're working really hard, right? Would you necessarily say that they were successful? Do they have a lot of money? Do they have, a great life? Are they happy? And I'm not going to try to say I know what people are feeling and thinking, but I would say probably most of them would answer no to those questions. But they're working hard, right? And entrepreneurs will say, well, that's different. That's a labor job. We're entrepreneurs, we work hard at doing things smart. And I'll say this. There was a time a few years ago where I was like, man, I got to make some money because it was not coming. Businesses I had done just were not working anymore. I was like, okay, I felt like I was at ground zero again. And I tried working hard. I really did. I was putting in hours and I was, online all the time, just trying to make things happen. Oh, let me work on this. I was working on some Shopify stores. I think I had just started up with merch maybe 6 months prior, something like that. It was new. It's making, a few bucks here and there. And, it was a struggle because I was trying to work hard to make things happen. Why is that wrong? Because when you are forceful about what you're trying to accomplish, what does that actually say internally? It says that if I do not do this and an action that is working hard, I will not achieve X. So your brain will take you down this road that is not pleasant, called the guilt trip. Okay. So let's say you're working hard. You're seeing a little bit of action, a little bit of success, a little bit of sales. And, all of a sudden you're kind of feeling like a little burnt out. You're like, well, I'm going to take a day off, or I'm going to just not do a million things in my business today. But then the guilt trip comes knocking and it's like, hey, you didn't work hard today. So guess what? You're not successful. And you're like giving yourself this hard time because you took a little break, because you needed a breather, whatever it might be. So I personally believe it's not required, because what is required is how you feel on the inside. Are there times where I am doing actions that maybe seem like I'm working hard, like busy stuff? Am I busy sometimes? Yes. Is that my normal day-to-day? No. And it was very challenging initially. Like, comment below. Do you feel like you have to work hard in order to even just sustain what you got going on right now? You might not even be making enough to quit your job. But let's say, you do work hard. Like, let me know in the comments. Do you feel like you have to keep that up? Right? I think that's one of the myths too, is that you feel like you have to always be that way. That there's never a break because I'm not at this magical level that doesn't exist, right? So the requirement is really that you learn to master how you feel. That's a requirement for doing better in life, doing better in your health, doing better in your business, doing better in relationships. How you feel at all times, thinking about what it is you're doing, is going to determine whether you're going up or down. So, example, when I thought working harder was going to bring me more success, I was very forceful about doing work. I was making myself work many hours. I was forcing myself to upload a lot of things on Merch by Amazon. I was like checking ads constantly. And I could feel internally this like awful resistance. Like, I hate this. I hate forcing myself to do this stuff. But I thought that I had to. Okay. And I think that's where most people are. I think most people think working hard is like a have to. And so they do. Smooth and Chuggy says, great point, master how you feel. Yeah. Because here's what happened for me. There came a time where I kind of like threw in the towel. And that was just sort of like, F this, I was like, I'm not happy. I am not happy. And that was the first indicator for me that something was amiss. And I said, well, things have to change. Like, that's just how it is. So I started seeking another way. And seek and you shall find, okay? Bible quote. What happened was I was drawn to other teachers, and their way of thinking really surprised me and made total sense. And one guy that I listened to, and he said, this is Dr. Joe Vitale, by the way. He said, don't focus on taking like massive action. Like, a lot of success people tell you got to take a lot of action, right? Yes and no. Yes and no. It's not the key. Okay. Because you could take massive action and be going way off the track, way down the line. You ain't going nowhere. You're taking a lot of action, but you ain't going anywhere. Okay. It's like uploading a bazillion books on KDP because you just think a handful of them might just fall into, the sales. Like a handful of junk books out of these thousands of books might just end up in a sale, right? You took a lot of massive action. Is it going to make you a lot of profit? No, probably not. So the other school of thought that Joe Vitale teaches is take inspired action. And I was like, just the thought of that sounds good. I don't even know what you're saying exactly, Joe, but just the thought of that sounded good. And as I studied his books, I probably have, I'm looking at my bookshelf. I can see about 14 books of his on my shelf right now. I have more on my Kindle. But as I got into his material, I realized what he meant. So in all cases, you are acting out of an impulse, a nudge, a kind of like you should do that. Taking inspired action is like letting the universe, God, the divine, point the direction for you. Okay. Instead of you just saying, well, I got to get up today and I just got to do this and this and this and this. And I have this huge to-do list and this is going to make things happen. Right. I have no lists. People are like, what? Every now and then I will write something down as a reminder. Like if there's a couple of little things that I feel like, might fall in the cracks or something, I'll write it down. But for the most part, I do not work from a list anymore. I used to feel very good about myself. Like, oh, I got a checklist, I'm checking things off today. Problem was I wasn't making any money. I felt good about checking things off, but making no money kind of made me feel not so good. So I go from inspired action. Now, how does this come to you? How does this inspiration come to you? I could be going for a walk and my mind is kind of relaxed. Maybe I'm just playing with my dogs, or maybe I'm listening to an audiobook, personal development, something like that. And something will come to me. And I'll say, you know what? I should do that. And as soon as I go back in the house, I will immediately take action on it. I could be driving. I could be at the gym. I could be working on something else. Maybe online I'm doing something else and I go, oh, this would be good. The two key components here is, number one, I don't do anything out of force. I do not force myself to do stuff just for the sake of doing stuff. Number two, I act on it immediately. So a lot of people will have lists. They'll have, I need to get this done for the week. I need to get this done for the month, right? None of that is really like stuff they're taking action on immediately because they have so many things they think they need to do. So they're like, I got to start somewhere. I'm just going to start on the easiest thing, typically. But when you work from inspired action, you have like one focal point. It's not like I get a million thoughts come into my brain and I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to, write all this down. There's so many things that it's not like that. It's like, what's the next step for me? Okay. If you ask yourself that question, it'll come to you. I don't think people understand the power of questioning yourself. Ask yourself a question like up here and watch what happens. You will get an answer. And you can tell, is it the voice that's going to help me or hurt me? Sometimes we're our own worst critics. If you say, why am I so terrible at making sales? And your brain is going to be like, well, you suck. You know what I mean? But if you ask a good question, like, okay, what should I focus on doing right now that would net me the most return on investment, profit, or the next thing I can overcome in my business that will help take me further in 2021? Something like that. That's an empowering question. Don't ask yourself stupid questions, Like Tony Robbins used to say, don't ask yourself, why am I so fat? And, because your brain's going to be like, well, you eat ice cream all the time, fatty, So you got to ask the good questions in order to get the good answers. And there are times, now let me put this out there. There are times where I'm sort of, I don't necessarily say waiting to get the inspiration, waiting for the nudge, because I'm still like doing things. I might be like doing things outside of my business, but I'm still doing stuff. And from that, it'll just put my mind at ease. And then eventually I'll get an idea. and then I'll act on it. It is not about working hard, though. It's never about that. Because when you get the idea for the inspired action, you just do it because you're like, yeah, of course, this is the next logical step. I don't have to like work hard at this. I'm just going to go do this. Because some people will come out and say, you know, how do you stay motivated? Like, Amy, how do you run multiple businesses? Like, how did you quit your job? And you know, how did you stay motivated? Or stuff? Well, because I'm doing the things I want to do. If you work off of inspired action, 9 times out of 10, if you're listening to the right voice anyway, 9 times out of 10, you are doing something you want to do. I'm still working on some of the things I don't want to do and figuring out ways around it. Maybe I need to outsource it. Maybe I need to quit it altogether. Things like that. But my point is, don't focus on working hard. That's what leads people down the path of feeling bad, feeling guilty, like I'm not doing enough, I'm not working hard enough. Where's the results of this? You know, you're constantly belittling yourself, you know, for most people, I believe. Myself anyway. It takes you down a road of not being inspired, not being motivated, not being energized to do what it is you need to do. Okay. Rita says, I also try to do just one thing towards my goal every day. Yeah. Keep moving forward. And that also inspires me to know that I'm doing something about my goals. Yeah. Yeah. And I like that you focus on just the one thing, because sometimes people get caught up, and I there's people I study and I love listening to their material, but I don't agree with 100% of what they say. And one of those people is Bob Proctor. And I know he got this from Earl Nightingale because I heard him say it too. They say to write up a list of like 6 things you're going to do for your business that day. I think that's overwhelming. Yeah, it could be like 6 small things that you're doing, but is that going to move you forward? I think in everything that you do, especially in your business to put you in a better place, you should ask, is this moving me towards what I want? And if, like, say, for example, what you want is, I want to make more money this month. Okay, well, is working on this leading me to that? And that will help you know if you're going in the right direction. So having like that one goal, like Rita's saying, is powerful, very powerful. Because what happens from that is you're focused in on achieving one simple thing. And as soon as you do it, you're probably going to get an idea for something else. But rather from working from this list, because I guarantee you, if you have like a list, you're going to look at the list and you're like, man, this is overwhelming. I got too much on this list. Oh my gosh, right? And it's just going to derail you. You are going to feel stressed before you even start. Pick the one thing, focus in on it, and go from there. And then when you get the nudge to do something else, go from there. Go from there, go from there. Now, if you feel like you are, at any point you're forcing yourself to do something, or it's hard, or it's just not flowing, you all know when things are flowing, right? You know the difference between like things flowing and things not. If it feels like it's not, you're probably working on things you shouldn't be working on. Because a lot of us tend to do the stuff that seems hard or whatever that we think has to be done because nobody else can do it, because I got to do this or else this won't happen. But that's just limited thinking. I know I used to think like that because before I had a team, I thought, well, I got to do everything. You know, oh, I got all this stuff. Okay, I got to do this and this and this. Well, Amy, is there a way you can make like $20 extra a week and hire a VA for, you know, $3, $4 an hour and take off a few things of your plate? Yeah, I can make $20 extra a week. I'll figure it out, you know? Okay, there went some of the stuff that I used to force myself to do, and it was hard. And then it was easy because I didn't have to do it no more. And I was glad to pay a little bit of money to get it out of my way. So I hope this video makes sense for you. Rita, actually, I'm sorry, Rita, I meant to contact you. Rita is one of my students, and she's had some tremendous results applying this like manifestation stuff, these new ways of thinking, you know, living your ultimate business freedom lifestyle. Okay. So I'm going to have her on one of our lives here and ask her some questions about what she's manifested in her life. And I encourage you guys, check the links below. We've got a Facebook group. I've got a gift for you. If you want to go to the next level and you're just like, well, I'm ready to just get results, ready for my business to be transformed, then contact me. I am starting to do one-on-one coaching, unlimited laser coaching. Reach out to me on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, if you're interested. And I will be live again on Friday. If there is any particular topic that you want me to discuss, we're talking about mindset, personal development, manifestation, prosperity thinking, ways of making business easy and flow for you. Because I think that's what it's really about. I don't think it's about working hard, at least for me. I mean, not to brag or boast, but I'm going to state this because I want you guys to know, I ended up doubling income in 2020, working half as much as I did in 2019. Truth. So it's possible. Okay. So guys, check the links below. I'll see you again on Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Take care.